This video we will show you couple IDE we will use for this course. For the programming language courses, one thing is very important is the IDE. So what is the IDE? IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. So those IDE applications, they will help the programmer to write their source file, implement their source file, then they can compile and run. So that's we call that integrated development environment. So you can open and edit a source file. Then you can run, compile, and run. So the first thing before you can be able to have IDE, you need to make sure each IDE actually is an application. You need to install that and set up correctly on your home system. So in this course, we have couple selection for you to use for the IDE. So you may already receive an email from AWS. They ask you to open an Amazon Web Service account, so that you can install, you can access a web-based Cloud9 from all the operating system. So like we say, since that's a browser-based IDE, you don't need to do any installation. So if you receive that Amazon Web Service email, please follow their registration procedure to register an account. So this account actually is I request for everyone in my COMSC110 and 210 courses. The students enroll and register from the Amazon Web Service. They can get $50 credit to using their AWS service. So you have the charge. So any charge, you can use this $50 credit for that. Even I know actually how you use the Cloud9, save the information on the web server. Actually, they don't charge you a lot, but that's a good practice. We can use the Cloud9. So then the following handout, actually I have all the screenshot to show you how you will create the project from Cloud9 or from the CodeBlocks. So the CodeBlocks and the Visual Studio 19, actually this is the two IDE we have in our lab computer. So that's why I'm using that for example. So for the Mac student, if any student use your Mac system at home, I will recommend you to use the Xcode for your IDE. Also that's from your app on your Apple store. So then your app store, you can install and download Xcode for free. Okay, so here in the handout, I only have the screenshot, but I still have couple other video to show you one by one lively. So then you can refer to that too. So but now here I just show you using the handout here. So the first thing we see the Cloud9. So the Cloud9, in this course, we will learn how to use a couple different IDE. So we're using the Cloud9 for example. The Cloud9, the good thing is they are a web-based web-based IDE. So you don't need to have any installation. You just access by Google Chrome, Safari, or Firefox. So then you can access Cloud9. But the first thing, you need to register the AWS free account the email they send you to invite you to enroll. So you need to have the registration. So here is another way you register registration for free. But please try not to use this one. Actually, I want you to check the email they send you, because this email they send you to invite you to join, they will give you free $50 credit. So you don't need to worry to provide the credit card. But if you're using from this website for Amazon AWS for free, right? They are still free account, but they will ask you for your credit card, and then you don't have that $50 credit. Okay, so please using the email they send you. So after you complete your registration, got your $50 credit. So then here is the step how you will create an environment from the AWS Cloud9. So the first thing, you just need to have the information to the Cloud9 after you log into AWS. So I can show you the screenshot here. Actually, you can have to set up the environment one by one. You can choose all the default settings. So afterward, you can see your Cloud9 environment for C++. Okay, so also you have a link you can access from some YouTube video. So after you have your Cloud9 ready, so then in the other video, actually I show you, or you can access from our Canvas file. Under the Canvas files, I have the lecture file folder and demo file folder. So under the demo file folder, I have many source file you can download and then you upload to the Cloud9 to run. So this example actually just show you the first welcome message you can run from your computer. So then you can see on the left hand side on Cloud9 you can organize your folder. So then since we have different chapter, in different chapter I give you many different demo files. So then you can organize those source files. So you just click on each one and then run the program to see the output. So Cloud9 is the choice. So later, actually today's Monday. So on Wednesday, our Zoom meeting, we will start our first lab exercise for the programming. So then we can have more example to see how we run different IDE. Okay, so the next one in the handout is CodeBlocks. So the CodeBlocks, actually I have the CodeBlocks set up PDF file from Canvas under our lecture file from files. So you can see how you will install on your home system. Or in our lab computer, we do have CodeBlocks. So after you install your CodeBlocks, so here the screenshot is how to show you to create a project on the CodeBlocks. So you need to create the C++ project first, so then you can run your source file. Also then one by one, step by step, you can see here I have a screenshot to help you to access that. So the project you choose, you need to create a console application project. So they will actually use C or C++, so we use the C++. So then you can just choose all the default location, default from the choice. But the most important thing, please make sure you remember where's the folder you will create your project, because that's the location you will access your source file. Okay, so choose. So usually student doesn't know how to organize. I will suggest you just using a desktop for first. So then you can always see the folder is under your desktop. So then after you create your project, actually by default, they will give you the main.cpp file. So that's your first hello world CPP file. So that's the CPP file. Earlier we say your IDE is the environment. You can edit and open your source file. So in order to compile and run, you can click on the green arrow. Then you will see the hello world in the console. So that's CodeBlocks. So many of you maybe like to use the Visual Studio 2019 and 2017. So that's on the Windows, for the Windows system. So the same thing, 2019 and 17 and 19, we are in our lab computer as well. So that's why here I show you the screenshot, how you create your project. So I will suggest you guys start with the empty project. So that's easier. So you create an empty project, you can run any different source file, C++ source file. So then after you create a project, you can see just choose the console application. Okay. So then, so after you create a project, and then we say here, COMSC lab exercise. So then you can see you have source file. You can either add a new CPP source file, or you can add the existing source file. So the existing source file actually is for the demo file I have for each chapter on Canvas. So that's you need to run that. To download that first, then you can open as existing file. So you see here, when you add a new file, they have the CPP file or the .h file. For this class, we're only using the .cpp source file. Yeah, so then the same thing, you will have your first welcome to Java source file. Okay, so welcome to Java, so you can see the output. And make sure you know where is your project located. So that's the Visual Studio. So then the last one for this class, for the Mac student, actually I highly recommend you to use the Xcode. So the Xcode you can just download and install from the App Store. So after you open that, the first thing, right, you need to create a project from your Xcode. So for this class, we use the command line tool. Then you can see here, you can have your project name. We're using C++. So then here, right, so you can see your project name. Then you can add a new CPP file. So again, you see another welcome message. So after you run, then you will see the console output here. So that's your IDE setup for different, the project setup on different IDE.